Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidharam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drika Tadrishyam Draktumanasam Drishyadi Vrittaya Sakshi Drage Vanatu Drishyate. We are currently looking at the 8th verse, and I will get Priya to chant that verse.
Ahankarasya tadatmyam Chittaya deha sakshibihi Sahajam karmajam bhranti Janyam cha trividham kramat.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to remove that. Thank you. So, in this text, this verse is one of the most unique verses in this text, where there is a deep analysis of what is called the ego, ahankara. We know in all spiritual texts that in all spiritual philosophy, it is the ego which is the cause of all our problems. All our sorrows, all our difficulties are all stemming from what is called the ego. And then the big question is, what is this thing called? The ego. And here in this text, there's such a deep analysis of that thing called ego that it breaks our entire personality down into various different aspects. So we've been using the analogy of the sun shining into a bucket of water. That surface of that water being, the nature of water being reflective, creates a reflection of light, and from that, the reflection, the light is then pushed out into different directions. Using this analogy, we have to come to understand there are various components to our personality. One is the pure consciousness, and pure consciousness here is denoted by the sun. And actually, I have made a picture of this, so I'll just show that picture. That pure consciousness here is the sun. Then we have this thing called the bucket, and the bucket is our body, our physical gross body. In that we have water, and that water stands for 4 aspects here: ego, intellect, mind, and memory. And then in that water, we have a reflection. And that stands for reflected consciousness called Chitchaya. Okay. Now, the ego is one of the four components here. It's one of the four components. And it's this ego which is called ahamkara or ahamkriti, or the I thought. We say the I thought. Yeah. Now, what has happened is, due to all these different happenings taking place, the sun shining into the water, creating a reflection within the bucket, all of a sudden, this I thought has started to identify with three different factors. One factor is called the reflection. So I thought plus reflection has taken place. And that ego is called sahajam. Sahajam means natural. Then I thought with the bucket. That means the physical body. And that is called karmajam, born out of karmas. And the biggest problem is I thought connected to pure consciousness. And that is called Brantijam. Brantijam meaning born of delusion or ignorance. It is this third one which is the big problem. Yeah. In reality, we are actually this. We are the sun. But now, because of this event taking place and the ego thought gains sentiency from reflection of consciousness. It gains reality or existence from the pure consciousness. And then it gains a form from the body. I am man, I am woman, I am of this nationality, I have this appearance, I am young, I am old. All that is connected to the ego now connecting to the body. Yeah. So we look at the earlier slide, we can see this. I thought plus reflection of consciousness is the natural ego, sahajam. I thought plus the body, karmajam. I thought plus witnessing consciousness, brantijam. When we say plus, it means to take itself to be. So this is currently where we are operating from. We are all operating from this standpoint. And because of this, the main problem that we experience is that this Brantijam ego, this ego connected or suffocated, the ego that has suffocated the pure consciousness, then that pure consciousness now feels very limited. Yeah? And that, don't forget, that pure consciousness is me. That's you. That's who you truly are. And now all of a sudden we feel very limited. We feel very incapable. We feel very insignificant, inadequate. And this feeling brings about a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow. And that's why the ego is a problem. If the ego didn't bring pain, it's fine. We can live with it. It's perfectly okay. Keep your ego and go through life. And every realized master would say, we made a big mistake by getting enlightenment. We should have just kept our ego, because the ego was so much fun, so much joy, unbridled enthusiasm. However, unfortunately, the ego is not of this nature. The ego is a big pain. It is a big pain to deal with. It's always crying. It's always whinging. It's always complaining. And the ego also signed up to Facebook and Twitter, made a blog account, and now complains about everything that goes on with life. So this ego has now got social media access and is now causing even more headaches than what we would have previously understood. So, because this ego cries so much, this is why we want to transcend it. This is why we want to overcome it. And this is symbolically seen through even the story of our great epics such as the Ramayana. In the Ramayana, the ego is personified as Ravana. And this Ravana, one thing about him is that no matter how much he has, he owns and rules the kingdom of Lanka, which has unbridled riches and wealth. He has access to all comforts and pleasures. He has power and prestige. Yet, in spite of having all these things, he lives in a state of dissatisfaction, always yearning for more, looking for the next conquest, looking for the next thing to enjoy, indulge, or acquire. And this is why Ravana ends up pursuing Sita. And in order to pursue Sita, he transgresses what is called dharma. He transgresses dharma. This is the nature of the ego. No matter how much it has, it is always dissatisfied. It's never happy with life. Even when things are going good, it finds something to whinge about. That's just its nature. My tea is not hot. My tea is not hot. We can start the morning with this. Or I live in Melbourne and it's so cold. So it's cold in Melbourne, the tea is not hot. It all starts with that. Or the people around me don't smile when they see me in the morning. No one gives me a hug. I have to go hug everyone else, but no one initiates a hug to me. So no one is hugging me. All this is Mr. Ravana saying, gimme, 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 gimme. It sounds a little bit cruel, I know, but it's essentially, this is the nature of the ego. Always dissatisfied. Therefore, it is best that we transcend. We should learn how to overcome this ego. Otherwise, we always have to live in a state of dissatisfaction, begging from the world or demanding from the world, whichever way you want to look at it. And so, we need to explore how can we overcome this ego. Hence the dissection of the ego. Yeah, so I hope you understand the relevance of this deep study of the ego, because it's such a painful entity to deal with. Therefore, a deep study will reveal its weaknesses. And once we know its weaknesses, we know the strategy on how to overcome it. And when you overcome the ego, life is filled with so much joy, so much happiness, so much freedom. You can go and hug the world without waiting for the world to hug you. Although officially I cannot endorse such a message at the time of pandemic, so do not go hug anyone. Keep your hugs to yourself. At this point in time, you can give virtual hugs. Don't say that Swamiji has now endorsed physical contact and breaking of social distancing. No, keep your social distancing. But you can give love to people without demanding it. Okay? So that's why this analysis, very unique to this text. Guruji himself says he's never seen this in any other text. So this really is the unique aspect of this. Yeah. So now let us look at how do we overcome this ego. We realize he's a problem. Now how are we going to defeat him? Okay, now comes verse 9. And verse 9 starts giving us the method, the strategy. Well, not the strategy so much, but it will start showing us what the weakness of this ego is. Where do we need to attack? Okay, I'm going to put the verse up, and then Priya can chant that verse and you can repeat. There you go.
Sambandhino satornasti. Sambandhino satornasti. Nivrittis sahajasya tu. Nivrittis sahajasya tu. Karmakshayat prabodhacha. Karmakshayat prabodhacha. Nivartete kramadubhe. Nivartete kramadubhe.
Okay, thank you. Now, the connection of the ego with reflected consciousness cannot be annihilated. It is natural. The connection of the ego with what we should say, the body, can be annihilated by exhaustion of karma. And the connection of ego with sakshi, pure consciousness, can be eliminated by direct knowledge. Okay? 3 egos, 3 strategies. Okay? Now you can look at this in 2 ways. When you look at this first line, that says Sambandhina. Sambandhina means connection. Sambandhina satoho. Between these 2 things that are connected, sahajasya, of the one which is natural. Yeah, remember the first connection is natural, is I thought plus reflection of consciousness. Chitchaya and I thought. It says this one, nasti nivritti. This cannot be annihilated. Oh, you can't get rid of this ego. This ego is here to stay. Oh, so you can look at that very depressingly and you say, oh, there's 2 ways to look at it. Very depressingly and say, I can't get rid of it. Oh, it can't be done. I'm stuck with my ego. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is good. You don't need to do any more work because it can't be destroyed anyway. So good, have a holiday now. Because you can't get rid of this ego, so you need not even bother trying. There's 2 ways you can interpret that. Now, first, ego, sahajam, cannot be annihilated. Now, second ego, second aspect of the ego, karmajam, ego connected with body. It says that karma kshayat, that can be ended. That will be ended through kshaya. Kshaya means destruction, exhaustion. Exhaustion is a better word. Exhaustion of karmas. When your karmas are exhausted, then connection with body ends. Okay? And ego plus pure consciousness, they go brantijam. That's the big problem. That's the big one. That's the problematic one. Now, how do we deal with that? That one, prabodhat, that one can be destroyed by prabodha. That means knowledge. So that can go. So now, 2 of the 3 we can get rid of. That last one, the first one, we can't get rid of. And you know what? That's not a problem. Because the first one doesn't cause any problems. The first ego, remember last week we said, that first ego, it allows me to transact with the world. When reflection of consciousness plus I thought come together, you get the sentient notion that I know. I know. I know this world, I know these objects, I know this is a book, this is a desk, I know this is a cup. This is not a problem. We need this in order to transact. So let's leave that one. This is actually quite good. It's like the teacher has given you 3 sums and already said the first one you don't need to solve. So this is quite good. Only 2 out of 3 you need to solve now. Okay. So first equation you don't need to do. Oh, Thank you, Bhagavan. He has made our life easier. Okay, now let's look at the second one. The second one says karma kshayat. By the elimination, exhaustion of karmas, identification with body goes. Okay. Now, how do we exhaust the karmas? It's a tough one. Actually, we can't actively exhaust the karmas. They just have to exhaust themselves. So when they say exhausting the karmas, it means you have to live through them. You have to experience them. That's what it means. Yeah. So karma kshaya here means you have to experience those karmas. Okay. Now a little bit more detail is required. Now, what is the karma that has brought me in connection with this body? Yeah. Now, for this, you must believe in the concept of reincarnation. If you don't believe in the concept of reincarnation, things don't work. Yeah. So here, it's already assumed the student understands and believes in reincarnation, which means prior to me being connected to this body, I was actually connected to a previous body. I was connected to another. Now, I don't know what body that was. It could have been human. It could have been animal. It could have been something else. We don't know. But over the many janmas that I've had, I have earned some merit, and also I have picked up some demerit. So when you have a bit of punya and a bit of papa, then what happens is you get entitled to human birth. Okay, so human birth is a little bit of punya and a little bit of papa, half and half. Yeah, kata mita. It's a bit half of this, half of that. Yeah, then you get human birth. Now, again, when I look at my karmas in the past, my total set of karmas, there's a total set of karmas. The total set of karmas mean all the karmas that I have done through all my births. And it is called Sanchita. Sanchita Karma. That means all the actions that I have done through all my past janmas. When I look at them, they are so many, so innumerable, actually you can't count them. This is too many. What happens is, out of this huge balance of total karmas, out of the huge balance of total karmas, one little portion is taken out. A little portion is taken out. And that little portion is taken out is for one lifetime. It's the karmas for one lifetime. Yeah. That little portion which is taken out is called prarabdha. It's called prarabdha. Prarabdha. Okay. So Sanchita is the full account. Yeah. Now, don't forget, every karma has to give a result. Every karma has to give a result. Now, when I have so many karmas I have done, what happens is I don't have enough time in one birth to experience all of them, because there's so many are done. So in one birth, you can't experience all of them. Therefore, only a portion of those karmas are taken out, and they say, here for your next janma birth, you only have to go through this many karmas. You don't need to go through all of them. We're just going to go through this many. Yeah. So let's just say, arbitrary figure, I have 1 million karmas there. And of this 1 million, that means 1 million phalas are also there. Phalas, results. Yeah. Now, in this birth, let's say I got 70 years, 75 years. Yeah. Now, in the 75 years, I cannot experience the 1 million karmas. There's too many. There's just too many. Yeah. So because there's so many karma, 1 million and only 75 years, then Bhagavan said this is too much. And then only a portion is taken. And say he gives you, let's just say 70 karmas. Yeah. And he says 70 karmas is all you need to deal with in this janma. Okay. So you're going to get in this janma the results of 70 karmas that you have done earlier. When earlier, we don't know, just past birth. Okay. But now when I start this birth, when I start this body has now come with the 70 karmas. Okay. So this body has to go through the 70 karmas. It doesn't have an option. It will have to do it. Why? It's been ordained. It's been programmed, so to speak. It's been programmed that these 70 karmas will have to be exhausted in this one janma. Okay? Now, when we say, what do you mean by these 70 karmas coming? Not karma phala, okay? 70 phalas. 70 results are going to come to you in this janma. These results can come in a variety of ways because it depends on the karma. Yeah. So because of some good karma I have done, so some good results are going to come. So some of those good results could be when I'm young, I get lots of friends when I go to school. Okay, so lots of people come and become friendly to you. They all like you. Okay, that's also good karma. You get nice parents that give you lots of hugs without demanding hugs. So that's some punya karma. Yeah, good, nice parents. Oh, I get parents who have got some money in their pocket. Oh, my parents got money in my pocket, in their pocket, not in my pocket, in their pocket. So then what does that mean? That means when I have birthday parties, nice presents come to me. Oh, so good, rich, resourceful parents. Huh? And they build me separate bedroom where I don't have to share with my siblings. Because when I share with my siblings, I'm fighting with them. Oh, all these nice things that are coming to you. Now some papa also has to come. Because human birth is punya and papa. Huh? So some of my papa is that, oh, it was very hard for me to get my first job. So maybe I kept trying and trying and trying, but I couldn't get the first job. Okay, so papa was there. Yeah. Maybe when I tried out for the sports team, I was the worst person on the team. Yeah. I tried out for the basketball team. But the problem was when you play basketball, you need to be tall. But because of my papa karma, my growth spurt only took place in year 12, and I was 5'2" throughout high school. So because of this lack of punyam, right, I was a very short person. And I wanted to be like Michael Jordan, such a hero on the court. But I was so small that me and the basketball were of comparative size. So given such situation, people did choose me, but they did not choose me to play on their team. They chose me to be the basketball that they could play with. Okay. So there's some papa karma has come. And of course, other things can be there. Some relationships work, some relationships didn't work. Some ill health. Sometimes ill health comes. That's also some papa karma, which is coming. Okay. Financial troubles can also be papa karma can come. Yeah. All these are events that must take place in this birth for you. Okay, because it's prarabdha. So they are coming from previous births. And they have to come through and manifest. They have to manifest in this birth. This 70 karmas you cannot avoid. You can run here, run there, but those 70 karmas will come. Yeah. If you're not meant to be on the basketball team, it doesn't matter what school you go to, you never get on the basketball team. That's it. That's because that is the papa karma that is there. If you are not meant to have certain finances, then that finance won't come to you. No matter what you do, the minute you get the money, someone in your family will say, we need the money more, they'll take the money from you. And it just came and it went, gone. Something will happen. But these events, they will come to you. Now don't forget, these are events that are coming to you. This does not mean that you are completely hopeless, okay? Because sometimes when people hear this, then they'll feel like, what's the point of trying? Because my destiny is already, it seems like the whole thing is destined, only it's fixed. Yeah? And so we can adopt what's called a very fatalistic mentality. Fatalistic mentality, everything resign, everything to fate. Yeah. This is a problem. This is a problem. Okay? Because although certain phalas, results of actions are coming to you, you may not be able to avoid these results. However, you have choice on how you are going to deal with these events. There's two ways you can deal with the event. You can lie down and resign to fate and say, Kya karo? What can I do? Finished. Yeah? And you develop this very weak mentality, a weak mindset that there's no hope. There's no future. There's no possibility. There's nothing I can do. You can do that. Or you can say, oh, if it's coming, then now I will prepare myself for it. I will prepare myself for it. Yeah. Just like now, if they say that end of the year, there is going to be a terrible summer coming. Yeah. And the summer is going to be averaging 45 degrees every day for 3 months. Let's say, they say it's coming. Yeah. Now, you can't go and change the weather. You can't change the fact that 45 degrees are coming every day. Yeah. But you can sit around and do nothing. Yeah. And you make no preparations to your house. And when that 45 degrees come, you just spend every day melted to the tiles. You just melted and it's stuck to the tiles. And you spend that whole summer just stuff like that. Yeah. Even now, this pandemic which is going on is also because of total karma phalas. Because the world has also got total karma phalas. If a pandemic has come. Now in this pandemic, you can sit there and say, oh, can't do anything. Just sit around in my house and get bored and depressed. You can do that. You can sign up to Netflix and you can just watch all the Netflix programs there are and say, can't do anything. Why? Pandemic, can't do anything. Or pandemic is here, you have to deal with it, but you can take it positively. And you can say, now I have so much time on my hands. Let me now look into spirituality. That's why so many people now are connecting to spirituality. Yeah? And you can say, good, while the pandemic is going on, I will become a Muni Maharishi. Okay? You can become Muni Maharishi. 6 months work on becoming Muni Maharishi. Hopefully by the end of this course, I will not be the only one wearing orange. Maybe some of you can start put some orange on. Yeah, and at the end of 6 months before the pandemic, everyone has become swamis. Yeah, so this situation of the pandemic is unavoidable. Cannot avoid. But how you deal with it is still your choice. In the same way, prarabdha, you cannot avoid. The prarabdha, those 70 karmas that are coming to you, you cannot avoid. But you have choice on how you're going to deal with it. Yeah. And when we take a fatalistic mentality, when we take the mindset of being defeated, defeated by the karma phala, then we become weak. We become weak. And with a weak mindset, when this situation comes, you end up feeling rather hopeless and helpless. And life is very unpleasant. Yeah? Life is unpleasant. And then you end up perpetuating that karma phala by doing it again. You repeat it and you do it again. And nothing changes. Life just continues on in the same direction. However, you can choose to face the difficult challenge and see this problem as a challenge. And then when you see it as a challenge, you tell yourself, now I am going to rise to the challenge. I am going to better myself. I am going to change the direction in which I think, in the way I respond, in the way I react. And I'm going to bring about an active change to my lifestyle. That I'm not going to do the same things that I've done for the last 20 years of my life. I'm going to do something new. Yeah. And I'm going to create a new habit, a new behavior. And out of that will be born a new character. And when a new character is born, then that is called transformation. Yeah. So it starts by a change in my day-to-day actions. Yeah. This change in day-to-day actions brings about new habit. This new habit creates new character. And with new character, different karmas are done and different phalas will manifest. You will not get the same old. You will get different things. And a different life will all of a sudden appear in front of you, and different opportunities will come towards you. Yeah. All this depends on how you face the karma. But understand, this portion of prarabdha karma, these 70 karmas, are unavoidable. Cannot avoid them. And therefore, let us not live with too much regret over our past. It is what it is. Let us now boost our strength and develop a positive mindset to face the future. And this is why in our culture and in many cultures, we have that Jyotisha Shastra. This Jyotisha Shastra, astrology, it can help you to understand in general, what type of karma is going to be coming to you. Yeah. That's what sometimes they'll say. Yeah. There'll be some period of bad health. They won't give you specifics as to what exact type of disease you'll get and how long it'll go for. But they'll just say that some bad health will come, or there's some financial trouble. So they sometimes tell you, the first marriage will be difficult. Therefore, marry the tree, divorce the tree, and then marry a real person after. Sometimes these things happen. First marriage is no good. Go marry the tree, then divorce the tree, and then marry the second person. The second marriage works out very well. Okay, all these things are there. The bottom line is, don't get too caught up in the details. And a good astrologer won't reveal the details because they actually won't really know the details. The idea is that with this information, prepare yourself. Just like the weather forecast, they tell you tomorrow it's going to be raining. Good. Take an umbrella. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Don't sit there and look into too many more details. Tomorrow is cold, wear a jacket. Tomorrow's raining, get an umbrella. Tomorrow's hot, wear shorts. That's it. Prepare yourself. That's what the purpose of the astrology and horoscopes are. Don't make the horoscope into a horror scope of horror in your life. So scared and terrified by what's going to come that we try to run and avoid it. You can't run and avoid it because it's part of that prarabdha karma. It's coming. Yeah? Best to learn how to deal with it. Okay? So now we look at it. If we look at this is a second aspect of the ego. This ego, karmajam, ahankara. It is ego connected to body. If we look at it, what can we do to resolve it? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. You just have to experience it. That's it. So karmajam tadatmyam, also nothing to be done. Just face it with dignity, face it with positivity. That's it. You can't change it, you can't alter it, you can't remove it. Yeah. So if you look at it now, rishis have set 3 equations, but 2 of them they said you don't have to do. So 2 of the equations you don't have to answer. Oh, our rishis are wonderful teachers, making our life so easy. They said, first ego you can't get rid of, therefore why bother doing anything? Second ego, it has to play out its own part, therefore why do anything? Good. 2 out of 3, nothing to do. Now what is the last one? Do we have to do anything? Oh, ho, ho. Yes, last one you have to do something. You can't get away with 3 questions and do none of them. What's the point of even having the class? Huh? Something you have to do. Okay. So last ego, this is the suffocating ego. This ego takes the infinite consciousness, which is me, and it ties a rope around it and it suffocates it. And all of a sudden that beautiful infinite consciousness now feels completely choked, exasperated by this brantijam ahankara, born out of ignorance. Yeah, that even though I am infinite, purnam, I now feel apurnam, incomplete. I feel so incomplete in life. And I get various things and bring them into my life to complete me. Yeah. So I feel, oh, it would be nice if I had a comfortable chair. Then I feel more complete. In my comfortable chair, I can watch Netflix for a longer period of time. Okay, so you go there. Then you feel with comfortable chair, I need side table to put my snacks. Okay, go get side table for snacks. Then you have now comfortable chair, side table, snacks, but no one to enjoy it with. And now I must find someone to enjoy with. Okay, go get married. Well, that project is a bit harder than getting the chair. Chair sometimes the chair is a hard project. Finding someone. Oh, now I have someone to watch the Netflix with me. But I didn't think this planned out very well because that person is eating all my snacks. So this plan was not thought out very well. There's a problem. So then you have to go buy more snacks and then train this one. Stop eating my snacks and only eat this much. Now that project is a big project, training that one. And then you realize training this one is very hard. This one got its own vasanas and just doesn't listen to me. Therefore you say, let us create our own. We create our own, then I can train them from the start. I can get in there and train them. So I have some children, 1 or 2 children. If the first one doesn't work out, have a second one doesn't work, have a third one. Keep on having them. And the more you have, you hope you will feel more complete. Yeah. So all this is happening because I'm feeling incomplete. Therefore, keep on connecting, keep on acquiring, keep on gaining more in an effort to feel complete. However, we know simply from a mathematical point of view, look at it. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, finite plus finite plus finite plus finite can never equal infinite. The sum total of finite doesn't give you infinite. Infinite is where complete is. Infinite is where complete is. Oh, okay. So now I had to think, how can I get infinite? Yeah. Now, infinite is not something you attain. Because what is the nature of the infinite? The nature of the infinite is that the infinite is ever present. The infinite is here and now. Finite may not be present because the finite might exist in another place at another time. Yeah. So when I'm making a cake, when I put the batter into the oven, the cake is only going to exist in a future time. It doesn't exist now. You can't eat the batter. Well, some people eat the batter, but you should not eat the batter. It's not called a cake. It's called eating batter only. As children, we used to enjoy that, but you should not do it. You should wait for the cake. You have to wait. That result is available in future, not available now. Some things are available now, but they're not available here. Yeah. I want to buy a jacket. So I buy on Amazon. The jacket is coming from America. So it's not here. You have to wait for it to come from America. So finite is not here and not now. Infinite is always here and now. Infinite is always here and now. Okay? So even right now, the infinite Satchidananda Atma Brahman is here and now. It's right in front of you. It's all around you. It's not just around you. It is you only. It is you. If it's around you, that means it's not infinite. Because you are one thing, it is something else. You are conditioning it. No, you are that. So that which is infinite is here and now. Then the only question is, if it is here and now, but I am not experiencing it, what is the cause? If it's here and now, why am I not experiencing it? You said that Brahman is Ananda. It is a pure bliss. It is Purnam, completeness. Samodate modaniyam hilabdva, Kathopanishad it says. Yeah. So it is modaniyam, just blissful, something to revel in, something to enjoy. And you're saying it's here and now, but I'm not experiencing it. If something is here and now and you're not experiencing, there's only one cause of obstruction. And that cause or that obstruction is called ignorance. It is ignorance. No other obstruction can be there. If something is here and now, you cannot have a physical obstruction, because a physical obstruction will take it away from here or take it into a different period of time. If something is here and now, the only way that I am not experiencing it is through ignorance. Now, I don't have them with me, but I generally wear glasses, And whenever we wear glasses, people who wear glasses, oh no, they have taking the glasses off, putting somewhere, putting here, putting there and all that. And then they find those glasses, where are they? Can't see. And so every time we leave the house, we have to find where those glasses are. The problem is when your eyes don't even work, you can't even find the glasses, because you need the glasses to help your eyes work. This is a big conundrum going on. So where's the glasses? But sometimes, people, they put the glasses on top of their head. Some of them have sunglasses or something like that. You put on top of their head. Yeah? Because some people, they need the glasses to read what's in front of them. But they don't need the glasses to see distance. So when they're talking to people, that goes up there. Then when they read documents, they come back down. You do a lot of this many times, you forget wear the glasses. So now you put them on, and now you're walking around the house, and then I say, "Where's my glasses? Looking for my glasses, can't read this book, trying to read Drig-Drishya Viveka that Swamiji said to read. Can't read because I can't find my glasses. Ayyo." So we go around the house, look. Then we can't find it, we start abusing people in the house and accusing them of stealing the glasses, taking the glasses, misplacing the glasses. Must do all this. Then after the looking and searching and abusing and hunting and all these type of things, somebody has to come up to you and say, "Are, Buddhu, up here. It's with you the whole time. You are not paying attention." And then they tap, they come right down. I see. Divya Drishti. Divine vision I'm having. This divine vision of clarity that you are getting. And all of a sudden, you have attained that which was already attained. There was no actual acquisition. It was just revelation that what I was looking for was already with me. It is called praptasya praptihi. Praptasya praptihi, the attainment of that which is already attained. This is the nature of the infinite. It is a praptasya praptihi. The finite is apraptasya praptihi, gaining something which you don't possess. But here you're gaining something which you possess. So the only way to get this, acquire this, is only through knowledge, revelation, recognition. The word recognition is a beautiful word. To cognize something is to know it. Recognize it. Come to know it again. Recognition. Come to know it again. That means it was you. Then you forgot, distracted, and all the book will talk about that. So now all we have to do is recognize it. And we can recognize it through knowledge. Okay? So this last aspect of the ego, Brantijam Tadatmyam, please understand it can only be destroyed by knowledge. This is the problematic one. The other two are not problematic. They're okay. One is transactional. One of them we can't do anything about anyway. So the first two equations, you don't even need to answer. So nice. The third equation, please, we must put some effort into this. Okay. Now, we say, oh, prabodha. So the word is prabodha. Prabodha means also prabuddha. It means to awaken. It means to awaken. Prabuddha. Yeah. And this helps us to understand what is the nature of this knowledge. Because people, many of you have been studying Vedanta for many years, some 10, 12, 15, 20 years. And people ask me, they say, Swamiji, we've read this book so many times, and you keep on saying that when you get knowledge, and you get knowledge and knowledge, you get moksha. I have read the book so many times, I've understood it also, but no moksha has come. Why the moksha hasn't come, Swamiji? Maybe I got a dud copy of the book. Because my copy was not good. I read the wrong line, or read it ulta, read it backwards, and that's why moksha didn't come. No, you probably got the correct version of the book. But you understand how knowledge works. So there are two types of knowledge. One type of knowledge is theoretical knowledge. And the other type of knowledge is called experiential knowledge. So theoretical and experiential. Theoretical knowledge is called Paroksha Jnanam. Paroksha Jnanam. Paroksha Jnanam. Experiential knowledge, Aparoksha Jnanam. Aparoksha Jnanam. You may have heard that word Aparoksha before. Maybe you've heard it. Oh. That's my name. That's my name. Aparoksha Jnanam. Okay. So what happens is when we study Vedanta, sometimes we get caught only in Paroksha. And we never go from Paroksha to Aparoksha. Yeah. And this is what we have to learn how to do. So there's a technique. There's a technique to taking our knowledge, which is theoretical, and making it experiential. And that technique is what we have to become aware of. This technique has got 3 parts to it, 3 steps. It's called listening, Shravana, reflecting, Manana, and then meditating, Nididhyasana. Okay, listening, reflecting, meditating. Okay. Now again, many of you have heard this before. Nothing new. Keep on writing it down in your notes. The same thing we've done last time. It's okay. Keep taking notes on the same thing. No problems. But you see, some aspects we should understand. In Shravanam, we should gain clarity about the concept which is taught. You should be clear about what was taught. You may not agree with it, but you should be clear about it. Okay? So I hope you understand this. That about what was spoken, you should be clear, but you don't necessarily have to agree with it. Okay? So you hear something, but you should know what you've heard. And that's why during Shravana, we cannot be distracted. Because when we're distracted during Shravana, you don't even clearly understand or remember what the teacher said. Therefore, Shravana must be done with full attention. Full attention. Okay? So I should, in the old days, the students could repeat what the teacher had said. They could repeat it. Nowadays, we kind of give a gist. I think this is what you said, Swamiji. Swamiji, when you said this, and then people sometimes send me questions and they say, Swamiji, in last class, you said this. And I was, I never said that. I don't know which class you're talking about. I never even made this statement. Oh, no, you did, Swamiji. I'm not. At least, it's hard to remember what other people say. You should at least remember what you said. That's important. So I generally know I didn't say that. So in Shravanam, we should have clarity and we have to memorize what was spoken. That should be clear. Okay. Then what do we do? Now an idea has come to us. I'm clear about it. I understand what was said, but I don't agree with it, which means I have doubt over its possibility. You have doubt over the possibility. It's not that you have a doubt because you're confused about the topic. There's a difference here. If you have a doubt because you're confused about the topic, you have to go back to Shravanam. You have to do Shravanam again. You can't do Mananam because you don't even know what the concept was. To do Mananam, you must be clear about the new concept. But in your heart of hearts, you don't believe it's possible. This is what's happening in Mananam. So an idea has been presented. The idea is that you are consciousness and you are infinite. And now I understand it. I am infinite consciousness. I get it. Yeah, I am the sun. I am not the bucket. I am not the water. I am not the reflection. You can kick the bucket. You don't kick me. All these things. I get it. But I don't believe I am the sun. I believe I'm a sunflower. No, I don't know what I am. Yeah, so I don't believe I am the sun. Now, this is called prameya asambhavana. That means doubt over the topic. You have doubt over the topic. I don't believe the topic is possible. It's not that I don't even know what the topic is. Okay, there's a difference between the two. You know what the topic is, but you doubt the possibility that you doubt that this is possible. How is it possible that I can be infinite consciousness? This is what you have to remove in Mananam. In Mananam, you're not fighting to figure out what the topic is. If you can't figure out the topic is, you go back to Shravanam. Review your notes. Go back to what the teacher said. Listen to it again and again and again. Read the book again and again and again. That's all Shravanam only. But in Mananam, I am clear about the topic, but I doubt its possibility. In Vedanta, we present 3 simple topics. Brahma Satyam. The infinite alone is real. Jagan Mithya. The world is an illusion. And Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Individual self is in fact the infinite self. There's only 3 topics given in Vedanta. If you are clear about those topics, I know what Brahman is when he says that. I know what Satyam means. But I don't believe it's possible for Brahman to be Satyam. Now you're engaging in Mananam. I know what Jagat means. I know what Mithya means. But I don't understand how Jagat, I don't believe Jagat is Mithya. Now you're doing Mananam. I know what Jiva means. I know what Brahman means. And now you're saying Jiva is Brahman. I don't agree with that. I cannot reconcile that. Now you're doing Mananam. But if you don't know what the terms mean, if you don't know what Brahman means, if you don't know what Satyam means, if you don't know what Jagat means or Mithya, then you're not doing Mananam. You go back to Shravanam. You have to figure out what exactly was meant by the word Jagat. What was meant by the word Mithya? What was meant by the word Brahma? What was meant by the word Satyam? This is Shravanam. This is not Mananam. And I think sometimes people get confused with that. Yeah, they think they're engaged in Mananam when actually they don't even have clarity over the terms, terminologies, and ideas that were presented. So now in Mananam, I am clear. After Shravanam, I'm clear about terms and terminologies. I'm clear about concepts. But inside me, there's a lot of doubts. I can't see how this is possible. So then I do Mananam. And in Mananam, you have to wrestle with your own personal doubt. Yeah. You have to figure out, why don't I think this is possible? And this is very personal. It's very individual. Mananam is very individual. You're saying I am infinite and I don't have any problems in life. If I'm infinite, I'm complete. And if I'm complete, then there's no desire for me to go out. Yeah? And acquire things. And I personally am having a lot of doubt of this topic because I'm feeling so incomplete, and because that is coming because a particular desire is here. That I want this particular thing in my life. And because I want this particular thing in my life, I am unable to accept that I am complete. Does it make sense? So the idea I'm complete, I am not able to accept because I have such a strong desire for a particular object. And because I have a strong desire for this particular object, there's no way I can be complete. You have to figure out what exactly is that object, what exactly is that desire. And you have to deal with that individually. And when you deal with that object and that desire, then you have to bring in Jagan Mithya. That object is only Mithya only. Yeah. And as you bring that concept in, this is Mithya Vastu, is appearance. And it has no, it is not the source of happiness. The source of happiness is me. Ananda Atma is the source of happiness, not this object. This is the mananam you have to do. Yeah. As you do this mananam, which is very individualized, very customized, yeah, then you end up getting what is called doubt-free knowledge. And don't forget, the reason why we don't become doubt-free is because we rarely explore our own doubts. We keep on exploring clarification of the knowledge, but we don't actually come to explore our own personal doubts. That's why a lot of people become very adept in theoretical Vedanta, because they keep on clarifying concepts, but they never bring it into their own life. In Mananam, it has to be extremely personal. You have to look into your own mind. There has to be a high level of introspection. Because behind the rejection of any one of these concepts is going to be an individual attachment. And you have to figure out what that attachment is. See, to even accept Jagat Mithya, the world's an illusion, as long as I am attached to one thing in this world, you will never want to see it as Mithya. You might say, oh, okay, the house, I'm happy to say house is Mithya. Car is Mithya. My spouse also, married for 20 years, I'm happy to embrace them as Mithya. Oldest child gave me lots of problems, they're also Mithya. But this youngest child is very cute, you know. This youngest child is so adorable, so obedient, does everything I ask it to do. So when you say this one is Mithya, oh no. Swami, other things are Mithya, but not this one. They look at the smile on the face, Swamiji. How can you say that's Mithya? Such a gorgeous smile. Huh? You see, then I have attachment to one particular person, and therefore I cannot accept Jagan Mithya. You understand? So Mananam is extremely introspective process, and largely it is just an attachment which is the obstruction. There is some attachment to this part of the world. The need for control, the need for power, the need for security through wealth, security through objects, the need to be loved. All these are attachments. In Mananam, you have to really work through them. At the end of Mananam, there is this doubt-free knowledge. You become highly aware of your own, vasanas, or your own attachments, belief patterns. And then when you realize what your belief pattern is, and you also realize it's false, it's incorrect, that this person is the source of my happiness, that if I get this, then I will be happy. If you recognize this is incorrect, then you have to now sit quietly with that knowledge, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, and you have to work out this habit. You may have recognized it's incorrect, but the problem is because it's a habit of thinking, it has a way of coming back. It keeps on creeping up. During the class, I feel this is absolutely true. Even after the class, I'm convinced of it. But as the week goes on, today is Tuesday and then Wednesday, and all of a sudden by Thursday, that Jagat has become Satyam. Partially Satyam, partially Mithya. And then by Friday and Saturday night entertainment, it's full Jagat Satyam, Brahman has become Mithya. This is what happens throughout the week. The Brahman becomes more Mithya and the Jagat becomes more Satyam. This is all because of habit. And how do you overcome habit? Then you need concerted, focused concentration, and that is called nididhyasanam. Okay, so that nididhyasanam is a very concerted, concentrated form of concentration, where all your thought flows are directed, all your thoughts are directed in one flow, and especially towards that one particular attachment or gap you have, that weakness. That's the one you have to keep on working on, that this is not the source of happiness, this is only Mithya Vastu, and the reality is Brahman, and that Brahman is me. Sometimes you will find in your meditation, you will take up one aspect of this. You might take up the aspect that I am consciousness. Today we know from this text that it says at the end, Drig-Drishya. That I am that Sakshi. And sometimes in your meditation, you can just take this. I am pure consciousness, I am not the body. I am pure consciousness, I am not the body. And you can practice that again and again and again and again. And that one thought you sustain. Don't then bring in other things like, oh, what my prarabdha is. Swamiji said there's a prarabdha coming and wonder what my 70 things are. And do I need to see an astrologer and what my horoscope said? No, then you have gone and disrupted this thought. This thought is only saying, I am consciousness, I am not the body. Don't sit there and say, I'm not the body is beautiful. Do I go for a haircut tomorrow? If I'm not the body, do I need a haircut? Do I have to brush my teeth tonight because I'm not the body? Do not get, that's all distraction. Yeah? We are just trying to change our identity. So one, you can do I am consciousness. The other one, I am Ananda. I am Ananda is a very interesting one. That's a much subtler one. That I am the source of all happiness. Yeah. I am the source of all joy. Ananda, Atma, Brahma Pucham, Pratishta. This Atma is Ananda. Yeah. And so we have to then really concentrate on those aspects. Okay. So you can take any one of them, but you must keep all your thoughts directed on that and that alone. And here in this practice of knowledge, we don't bring in prayer. There's no prayer to God here. There's no upasana to God. God does not get involved in this. This is an inquiry into Nirguna Brahman. Nirguna, the absolute truth. So don't bring in that I know God, I am the source of happiness, but God, can you also fix these things in my life? Then you are the source of happiness, I am the source of happiness, we're all the source of happiness. Don't do that. If I am the source of happiness, you have to say what the Shastra said. The Shastra said, Ananda Atma. Atma is the nature of Ananda. And that Atma is Brahman. Don't then say, where is Krishna come in all this? Don't bring Krishna in and don't bring the gopis in and Vrindavan in. And then what was he doing on that night and where did he go over here and what happened to the Gopals? We never found out what happened to the Gopals. Did they grow up? Did they graduate? Did they get degrees? Did they get successful jobs? We don't know. Don't have this type of inquiries. Oh, wrong way. So it's called Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. All your thoughts must be of the same theme. Don't bring another theme in. Okay? When you practice this constantly, it's called Nididhyasanam, then eventually it leads to Samadhi, and in Samadhi you get Aparoksha Jnanam. And that Aparoksha Jnanam is when the theory becomes your experience. That you start experiencing Ananda Atma. you start experiencing that I am the Sakshi and I am untouched, unaffected by all these things going on around me. I am the source of all happiness. I am pure consciousness. I am the Brahma Satyam. This anything I am seeing is Jagat Mithya. And I am complete. I am complete. I am complete. And this is your experience. Yeah, you don't need to read a book after that. You don't need to go to a class after that. You're finished. Game over. You have passed. You have passed with flying colors. Yeah. And once you've passed with flying colors, you can teach others if you want, or you even need not do that. Just walk the earth. Yeah. And it says after that, then all you have to do is just wait for those residual karmas to end. Then after that, Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti. Then no manifestation embodiment is required. Okay. So now you see 3 steps of knowledge. Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Why we get caught in theoreticals? A lot of us, we don't get to actually mananam. We have to work a lot on Shravanam and getting clarity. Now, just on that, I know a little bit over time, but just on Shravanam, there's 2 ways. There's 2 ways that you can clarify your knowledge. One is when you do a deep study of the theoretical concepts, that you do a deep systematic study of the theoretical concepts. That's one way to get clarity. Yeah. And the other one is when you have tremendous faith in your teacher and tremendous attunement with the teacher. And you may not become so academic, but you can memorize and understand the import of what the teacher has said without any misunderstanding. That also can complete Shravanam. That only completes Shravanam. Mananam still has to go on after that. So 2 options. One, you really become very strong academically and you study systematically. Yeah. Like now I'm trying to make things very systematic. You know, we've gone through different types. The text is also very systematic. Yeah. But the second aspect, some people find this a bit too difficult. Then we must develop extremely intense Guru Bhakti. Then with intense Guru Bhakti, people can memorize the words of teacher even without memorizing the book. When you love someone so much that what they say, you just memorize it. Because a powerful statement, yeah, that becomes your Shastra. Yeah, the words of the teacher then become the Shastra. And you understand the import of that as well. So this happens when a person has very strong Guru Bhakti and Guru Shraddha. This is what should happen. Okay? So there are 2 ways that we can enhance Shravanam. So I hope you understand now how knowledge goes theoretical into experiential. Our whole problem in life is just ignorance. Okay? And now we have to deal with it. And that's what the rest of the text is going to do. The rest of the text is now going to systematically take us through all the gaps in knowledge and going to bring out beautifully all different concepts so that we can overcome this ignorance and we can enjoy Ananda Atma Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that infinite bliss. Not bad, isn't it? That's a nice message to get. At least smile. Some of you can smile when we tell you you're bliss, but even when you're bliss, you don't want to smile. Doesn't matter. You have the choice. Maybe that's your karma that's coming from Purva Janma that you won't smile. I don't know. Why should I question these things? Okay, that's it for today. Okay. Reflect or clarify these concepts. Any concept you understand, reflect on it. Go through your notes again, read the book, and we will see you all next week. Okay. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.